92.3 K-Rock. K-Rock presents 5 Minutes with...
This is VHS Or Beta
from 92.3 K-Rock.
We've got VHS Or Beta in the studio with us. Thanks for coming up to K-Rock, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
You're in town. You were in town just to do a big TV appearance. Is that right?
Yeah, the Conan O'Brien show.
Is that why you guys are so tired today?
Do we look that tired?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that, and we just got off like a full month tour with no
Right.
breaks. So the day we got back home, we had a big Louisville show, which is always stressful, and then we got on a plane to New York the next day. So it's been a whirlwind, but those, it's the life we've chosen. It's great. Things
It's
are
tough
going
being
really
a
well.
rock star. Well, how did Conan go?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
It's like the fastest 3.5 minutes we've ever lived.
It was a blur.
It was your first time doing that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and it's so permanent, like those shows air, like they'll repeat, and that like you've got kind of one shot to make it work. So I think we were all pretty nervous, but it worked out in the end. We saw it last night at a bar, and we're just like, okay, it was good.
Since it tapes like during the day, you could actually go out and watch yourselves at night. That's
exactly.
cool. Now, so what if you guys had messed up like halfway through that taping? Do they let you start over again?
They say only if it's like a complete, like
Like if an amp blows up
if something
or something
crazy happens, but you're supposed to just make it through.
So I went to one, I think it was David Letterman, and it was the Black Crowes, and I think they took 3 times to do it.
Yeah, I think some productions will let you do that, but like Saturday Night Live, they tape live, so
Right.
there's no like if you screw up, you're doing it again.
Yeah.
But this, I guess you could have if you wanted to, but it's in front of a live audience. You don't want to be like, oh guys, sorry, we'll play it again. So
That'd be a little embarrassing.
yeah, totally.
So you were just saying you just finished a month on the road, but you're not done yet, right? Because I know you've got more dates that you're coming back next month.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of decided that we would hit the States twice before we hit Europe. And I guess it made most sense to go out and do it again right as like the holiday season's getting set up and everyone's, fall's hitting and school's in. And then because after the new year, like the States, as far as touring goes, kind of dies.
Yeah.
The January and February, and March just starts waking back up. But
Yeah. It's brutal if you want to go to see shows.
yeah,
It is
totally.
no fun.
Not at all.
So when you guys play shows over in the UK and in Europe, I mean, are they enormous shows versus smaller clubs here?
No, I mean, the thing about Europe is they can have a smaller club, but it's really well taken care of, and they have bigger name bands even in the smaller clubs. I mean, we've played some pretty massive festivals over there, but we're not at the size yet where we're like selling out the Astoria and doing things like that. But and it varies from territory to territory, because there's record labels that handle each territory instead of like, imagine if like EMI had a EMI Kansas and EMI Florida,
right?
And it'd be, that's kind of how it is over there. It's like EMI France and Virgin UK and EMI in Germany, so it can be different in all the territories.
So this new album, it is out now, and I noticed you guys have a lot of collaborators. What went on in the making of this album that you guys chose to bring other people in than just you guys?
Well, I think it was just kind of a natural decision because we all live in the same city as My Morning Jacket, so those guys were available.
Kind of a different sound, which is why I found it really interesting. People wouldn't really associate what you guys do with My Morning Jacket.
Of course not. I
Well,
mean,
you started writing more with piano, and we brought Bo down because Bo's extremely proficient on the piano, and we wanted to get that recorded.
Are you saying he's not proficient?
I'm not. I mean, I can like
Calling
sit
you
down
out on
at
that.
one and
I mean, he can play,
but it's not
we
like
can write on it.
as far as a record that's going to represent you for the rest of your life. It wasn't something that I wanted to be like taking the chance with, So, writing some of the songs, I was thinking that Jim's voice would sound so good as a layer, not really singing words, but like providing some sort of texture. And he was totally completely into that since he does that so much on his own records. And then Carl, who plays guitar for My Morning Jacket, he came in when we were mixing the record and laid down some pedal steel guitar over a song that I had maybe initially thought would be other instruments doing it, but the pedal steel sits in there so nicely that it totally works. So those guys are great. I mean, they're total pros. And
so you guys are both from Kentucky. They sort of sound it, you sort of don't. I mean, where do you think you got your influences from in making, which comes through on these albums?
I mean, it's. I think you could ask each one of us, and we'd answer with different answers, and I think that's probably part of it. You know,
just the eclectic background of all you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, we're also a band that has sounded different on every record. Mm-hmm. So
definitely.
I think we were reactionary towards the sound of Kentucky, maybe, and that's where we kind of started wanting to do dance stuff and more urban stuff, because Kentucky has had so much of like a roots sound, you know, or completely like arty indie rock. So I don't think we were wanting to kind of dabble in either of those genres. And maybe early on with VHS Or Beta, it was kind of like a reaction to what was going on, you know. And then we just kind of said, screw it, we'll start writing whatever we want. So
keeping with the dancey roots, I mean, you guys put out a 12-inch, but do jocks, like DJs, actually use the turntables anymore? I mean, last time I saw it was all digital, and like you saw a guy scratching, but it was these two like computerized turntables and stuff.
DJs in nightclubs or
yeah.
DJ? Oh, okay.
Like a real DJ.
Mark and I still play vinyl.
We're not real DJs here at the radio station. We just we
You're
talk.
disc
Those guys
jockeys.
actually like mix music.
Yeah,
and
Mark
stuff.
and I have been DJing together for what? How many years?
Probably 9 or 10 years.
Yeah. We started off playing records. We still play records. The industry and the majority of the industry has moved towards this thing called Serato, which means you can take like a laptop full of MP3s, and yeah, you're right. There's still a record being, you know, played, but it's a record full of like time code. So the computer deciphers where the record is on the time code and matches that to the MP3.
Wow.
So it's like a little bit of a confusion thing going on, but a lot of kids are using it. Tons of people. Everyone is using it. That and CDs.
So when you put out a 12-inch, is it because you guys would use it and you know there are still some people who do, or just to kind of keep with that old school?
There's that, and the sound quality is, you know, I think we all think that the sound quality of vinyl is just...
There's an aesthetic choice that we make, you know, to keep putting out records.
Right.
Because hopefully that format will never die.
Yeah.
Because it's such a true quality sound, you know, like representation of sound. So, people still buy records. You'd be amazed.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know some bands still are putting them out. I mean, I get them in the mail, and you always see, you know, Pearl Jam's always putting out their 7-inch, and you know, I think it's really cool. But it was sort of just weird to me to see spinning DJs in clubs and stuff that aren't even using them anymore. It just seemed like kind of a bummer. But
yeah. Well, I mean,
Just about convenience.
it is.
Once you start DJing all the time and you notice how hard it is to lug so much stuff with you, it's just about you plug in a laptop and your entire music collection is at your fingertips. It's
a
really
hard drive like this big.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
it could be, you could have 14 crates of records, or you could have a hard drive.
I mean, I know this guy who brings his set on a USB key.
Wow.
Yeah.
And plugs it into his friend's computer, and his set list is, and he could wear it around his necklace or his neck, you know, like. Meanwhile, Mark and I are lugging 75 pounds worth of records everywhere. So,
well, good for you for keeping it real, for doing it that way.
I don't know how long it'll last, but thank you. But thank you.
We want to switch.
All right, so your album is out now, and like I said, you've got more shows in the area in November. So thanks for coming up now. And if anyone listening wants to find out more details about your show, it is on our website, 923krock.com and K-Rock2.com. So thank you very much, VHS Or Beta, for coming up.
Thank you.